Welcome back to the Brew podcast, everyone. This is episode 295. Back in the church room bar, healthy as I can be for now. Hopefully not contagious. I hope to God.
Whoa. Contagious? What? Did the aliens get you?
Yeah, the aliens got me.
The aliens.
And they
the
gave
aliens
me
got
a
him.
contagious disease.
Did you defend the planet Earth? How many?
I would say that I did the
how many
opposite.
kills?
When planet Earth was on the line, I went to bed and
You went to bed.
and I stayed there for about 48 straight hours.
Planet Earth is in danger. I'm gonna go hide under my covers.
The human body, there's certain examples of.
I wish I had some laser beams. I should have.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I can.
That's an alien. That's an alien move.
Yeah, that's an alien. That's a. There's certain examples like Michael Jordan's flu game where you're just like, holy shit! There's true feats of like human ability.
Willis
that
Reed.
I could not imagine.
Yeah.
Getting sick. If you go to war with the United States,
I'm not going to
not
war
you
with-
personally,
okay.
but if you're out there and you're if you're an enemy of America,
Yeah.
or if you're just a war buff and you feel like maybe military planning is your thing, and so it doesn't have to be anti-U.S. It could be U.S. versus somebody else. Biological warfare, I mean that is a winner. That's a winner. If you just give everybody the flu or COVID or whatever. I mean, I was hypothetically, I was not gonna do anything. Like, you could be my commander and come and scream, "Get your ass up!" I'd be like, "Nah, I'm good.
Nah, bro.
Nah, I'm good." Now, I will say that I had my own Michael Jordan game when I was in the Navy. In boot camp, we have, what the hell do they call it now? I don't know.
I think this is how Michael Jordan references his game too. He goes, "What?"
I don't remember what they called it. I know it's like battle stations, but I don't know what they called like the day. But it's it's like 30 something straight hours of like Navy stuff, and you have
30 straight hours of Navy stuff.
Yeah, so like there's one firefighting thing. You have to do one where you jump off of a fake side of the ship, and you have to float for a while, and everything's modeled after a real example. So that floating one is like the Indianapolis. You have to like. Wade, water, fill up your coveralls with air pockets and just kind of like float in the water as long as possible. And all of it's on 0 hours of sleep. And I had the flu during that. In fact, when they issued us our gas masks for that night, I put my gas mask on and immediately threw up because I was sick. And they said, well, here's your options. We could send you to the back to what division and you could do this next week.
Gross.
Or you could just do it. And I was like, well, I'm doing it. The one plus is that after you finish it, so that's when you switch from your hat says recruit. If you finish that battle stations period, then you get a real Navy ball cap. And
is that when you get the semen on your cap?
No. That's never.
That's okay. I read
the
that.
ball caps don't have your rank on them. For those uninitiated, semen is a rank in the Navy.
Or is that where it gets on your pants? Semen's on your pants.
No, not on your
neither
pants.
one of those.
Not unless your name is Seaman.
Okay.
Seaman. So after you get the ball cap, technically
with no semen,
you're not supposed to. You don't even get to like go to bed until that night's reveille. But because I was sick, I got a waiver.
When you go to bed, is that when the semen comes out?
I think you're stretching here.
Okay.
I think you're starting to stretch it a little. There's good ones. There's definitely some jokes in there we could make.
Some good semen.
When the semen come out when you go to bed. See, that question doesn't even make really logical sense.
Yeah.
But no, I would say that's when the semen retire to their bunks. And other seamen and petty officers, chiefs, officers, everything.
Is it much more common for seamen to hot rack?
No, very uncommon.
Very uncommon for
Subs maybe.
Subs.
Yeah. So submerged underwater, I'd say there's a lot of semen hot racking. Semen hot racking would be a good name, but I don't think YouTube would allow it.
No, yeah, that's
for the episode. Semen hot racking.
Well, no, we'll spell it, the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I'm back. I'm here.
From the aliens.
Yeah, the aliens, they sent me back.
They're not into your semen.
That's true.
But they do like semen stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back also.
Welcome back.
Quick, we're both back. We're back in the church room bar. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're back to the future.
Back to the church room.
I was terrible this weekend at checking in beers.
That's all right.
It's 100% terrible, but that's awesome.
I'm frequently terrible. We'll just get started here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'd have thought I was there. Seaman really derailed me.
You'll find it. So this is a first one you already know about.
Yep.
Showed you, made sure it was going to be doable. New Glarus Pilsner. Whoever knew that I'd be the one to bring a New Glarus beer that Matt hadn't had. And
Right.
that's just a coincidence.
It just came out.
Yeah, it just came out, and it just happened to have people in Wisconsin recently. So this is New Glarus Pilsner. Period. That's the name of the beer, as far as I can tell.
Pilsner, period.
Well, not period.
No, just Pilsner.
Yeah, just Pilsner. So that's it. No starter beer today, so I'm thirsty. Let's get this going. It's not primed. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
So talking about semen dries you out?
Yeah. Makes me thirsty. Thirsty for suds. If there's anything the Navy's known for, it's suds. Drinking beer.
Nuh-uh.
Cursing like a sailor. Drink to the foam, they say, and anchors away.
Do you have any like retirement traditions? So this is one that are alcohol related. I mean, we all have traditions, especially, but like when people retire, any traditions that you know of in the Navy?
I know that there are many. I'm sure I don't. I've only been to 2 retirements, and I didn't retire, obviously. So.
Because there's so many Navy uniforms. What's the uniform that is it? Your dress whites?
You can choose. You can choose. Almost every time I've seen the white dress whites.
They're called dress whites, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dress whites. They're the sharpest uniform, unless this is my opinion. Unless you're below E7, E7 and above have the best. The dress whites are awesome. They're like white suits, basically.
Yeah.
But the ones with like the flap and the neckerchief, and I hate those uniforms. That's for E6 and below.
Oh, so like there's like an ascot for E6 and below?
Not ascot. It's a neckerchief tied, like the Boy Scouts have. You know, like you tie it with a knot at the at the collar of the white, and there's a flap in the back of the shirt. I
remember the flap. Yeah. The top.
Dress blues have it too, and you wear a neckerchief. But there's just something sharper about the dress blues for lower enlisted than the whites. It might just be because I saw them frequently, and maybe if you just were like seeing them for infrequently, you'd be like, wow, that's a sharp looking uniform. But I felt like the dress blues were way sharper than the dress whites.
Do you still maintain any of your dress uniforms?
Maintain? No, but own, yeah.
You own?
Yeah, I still have them in a bucket somewhere, a container. What do you call them? Rubbermaid thing.
Would it, tote? Would it be tough for you? I would never
fit. To put on?
Yeah.
I wouldn't fit.
We always do blue showdowns like once every couple, just to make sure people fit, because there's been some times where there's been a retirement and it's like, hey, can I rub some pants?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean,
that one button's like holding on.
It would take some work to get back. I got out when I was 27.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's nuts. It's over 10 years ago.
My beloved Dio is getting out because he's turning 60. This is his second retirement. He retired off active duty and then joined the reserves. But wanted the beer. So, long story short, I don't want to get too much into alcohol policies and all that stuff. But it's interesting the amount of bottle, like that's the go-to gift for retirements. Especially in the military. And I've been to almost every service. I haven't seen somebody retire from the Space Force, but the amounts of bottles of booze. But I've been to other retirements outside of the military, not nearly as much.
No, yeah,
but booze is like, and not beer. Like a 6-pack doesn't have the same gravitas as like a bottle of Buffalo Trace. And my DO, when he retired, duty officer or deputy operations, lieutenant colonel type. He had 4 bottles of Buffalo Trace, and he understood like what that meant for those individuals like, because in Minnesota it's hard to get to.
Yeah, good. I'm glad he understood. That's tough to get. I don't recall from the 2 I went to what they received as gifts. I know I helped in one, and I received. It was in Cuba. I got a wooden serving platter that had the shape of Cuba, the country, in the middle, like placed in a different color of wood.
Oh, like
it was
an
all
inset.
handmade. It was really nice.
Inset,
yeah, an inset.
yeah.
It was really nice. Really, I still have it.
Made at the hobby shop.
Yeah. No, probably. I think he made it.
Wow.
I think he was like a hobbyist woodworker.
A wood enthusiast.
And he was retired.
Was he a seaman?
He was in a similar boat like you're talking about, where he was a reservist then, and had let himself become a civilian in the body sense.
He was rowed.
And I think he had to buy some new pants, maybe new outfit, but retired in Cuba, and it was awesome. It was cool.
There, you hear about those good old deals of like guardsmen or like the total force or reservists retiring when they're on active duty orders somewhere.
Well, he retired. He was there as a contractor.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But the base, because he was still whatever.
Are there a lot of contractors were there in your time?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, the Navy, I would say, has the least of the services I've worked with, by far.
Yeah.
The mission in Cuba required a little bit more because it was multi-agency.
Oh,
it was DoD
gotcha.
plus DIA plus intel agencies.
A lot of three.
There's a lot of, and the agencies at the time were the ones like DIA were hiring contractors more than the Navy was.
We call that alphabet soup, so it's just alphabet soup.
Just alphabet soup, but it's just so people are aware. I mean, it's not like it's a secret or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Navy has by far the fewest number of contractors that I've worked with. And in the Navy, it's the opposite of. So I don't really know how the Air Force perceives itself, the civilians, but in the Navy, a contractor is typically called on when you need a subject matter expert, and the military can't afford them.
Yeah.
So they work for a contractor, or they're a self-employed contractor, and then the Navy hires them to be a SME. Everyone respects them. It's almost like they fit into the officer corps. Whereas it was a really culture shock when I got to Wright Pat and realized that contractors were scum of the earth.
They will say that's not true, but there's no way. There's not. They're grunts. They're pushers. They're doing the job that no one else wants to do.
Who's that?
Contracting staff at Wright Pat.
Oh, yeah.
Or in our building.
In some cases.
Other buildings,
other cases,
no.
Well, so like I agree that there are definitely cases where contractors are filling roles that the government, they're not going to put civilians in. But there's also the opposite. There are roles that the government cannot afford to put their own people in, so they need that subject matter. Like the chiefs and the chief scientists and stuff that they have that are contractors. It just makes sense. You're going to get a better quality expert.
Yeah. Someone that you can have on demand to like fill a gap.
Yeah.
Or an absolute need.
Exactly.
The interesting thing, this beer, because we could talk ad nauseum on that.
We could.
Is it's not as pungent. Like, so I'm tempted to have you do a side-by-side. I'm actually going to do it. We're going to do something on the fly.
Let's do a side-by-side.
You're going to have one from last week.
I don't know where you're going with that, but I feel like we're going to land on similar topics of discussion with this beer.
I want you to want me. No.
Oh, really?
This is last week's beer when you were fighting aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be similar in that it's a Wisconsin style, but just do a side by side. And again, we're not, the Pilsner that JT brought from New Glarus, heralded as probably the most prolifically popular. Like, hey, you're going to Wisconsin, get this because it's only available in Wisconsin. There's other like one-off breweries like Central Waters. I'm looking at you that have more prestige behind them and more gold medals and all of that, but more notoriety is the word I'm looking for. But New Glarus is much more publicized for being, hey, you're going to Wisconsin, what should I get? But so that's from Mobcraft. That was last week. So another 5% Pils, right?
Yeah.
But that's a rye.
Yeah.
So if you do a side by side, and this is something Chuggalos, we listen to you. This is something we wish we could do more of. It's like side by sides and blind taste tests and gimmicks like that.
So it's. I wonder if the can didn't change, or if is Pilsner a part of the lagering process?
Pilsners are lagers. Not all lagers are Pilsners.
Okay, that makes
because
sense.
Lagering and Svil would be able to go over this. Lagering is a process.
Mm-hmm.
So you can lager a Pilsner.
Yeah, it's cold versus hot, isn't it?
Yes.
For ales and Pilsners and lagers.
Storage.
Or how it's made.
Yeah, correct.
Or hopped or something. Cold hopped, warm hopped. I don't know.
Because
we should know.
This is a lager.
We're a beer podcast.
This is a lager.
Yeah.
This is a Pilsner. But again, tangentially related. It's
Yeah.
Bud Light versus Miller Lite. Yes, there's a difference. It's a Pils versus a lager.
Caraway seed is in what?
Rye bread.
Rye bread. Rye bread.
So anyways,
and you can definitely taste it. That's breadier. This I think in both these beers, Wisconsin breweries I know, like New Glarus, I don't know. Spotted Cow has a flavor that I don't find as crushable. These two beers are like, if you want the reputation of Wisconsin drinkers to remain, crushing beers, having fun, drink Wisconsinably and all that. These two beers represent that mentality because they're easy to drink. They're smooth. They're unobtrusive. They're not offensive. I think that Spotted Cow has a little bit of a acquired taste, not for beer drinkers, but like someone who approaches it fresh and is like, this isn't as easy to drink as I thought.
If you're
so this style is more like today's light beers.
Yeah, I'm going to explain it a different way. I agree with you 100%. If you're going to go out and have more than 5 drinks at a time, we don't recommend that. The BCP does
well,
not
we do
recommend
if you're responsible.
But these are less filling. Tastes great, less filling. Sure, yeah. Spotted Cow is a little bit more filling. There's more body. It's got a bigger butt to it.
Yeah, that's true.
You would be much more... And again, Spotted Cow is revered,
and it's got more flavor.
Yeah, there's more to it. With a Pilsner, German purity laws, you've only got a couple of ingredients. Yeah. Obviously, with the lager, we've got caraway seeds. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing with this Pils is it's got that Pilsner Urquell, like the famous Pilsners that but it doesn't crescendo as high as some of those that have that skunky or that signature Pilsner flavor does. It approaches it and then it retards on the palate.
Well, we had found that some of that Pilsner, what did you call it? Skunky. It wasn't skunkiness. It was what did you call that? Like as it approaches and retards?
Crescendos.
Yeah, was from the water, the European water.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. The lime or from limestone.
Limestone.
Yeah. So,
and this does not have that.
This again, there's no mistaking. You do a stout porter. This is definitely a Pilsner, but it doesn't get to that point. And I would hope to think that that's a choice by the brewmaster to get more people to drink it, rather than having that crescendo, because that's an acquired from Pils Czechoslovakia. That's the signature of that, is to have that really sharp, that bitter beer faced. That's what that whole scheme or series came from Pilsners. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows it's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That was from IPAs.
No, bitter beer face was.
I mean, I remember the term in the commercial.
Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably from Pilsners in the
bitter
ad,
beer face.
but I could see it being from.
Yeah, Keystone. So Keystone was.
Keystone. Holy shit! I forgot about Keystone.
Keystone might be a lager though.
Bitter beer face. Yeah. It's a good beer. This when you're drinking both of these side by side.
Yeah, it's a lager.
This beer tastes so much sweeter than I think it really actually does in real life.
That one?
Yeah.
Because the Pils versus the lager?
Mm-hmm. Like on the palate.
I'm going to need you to give me a score on that one too when you get I'm just because
I'll give you both
for the spreadsheet.
It's good.
It's for science.
Yeah, I know. It's really good.
Really good. These are both. That's a quintessential. And again, I know you listen. I will give you my score. I'll let you know what I gave it to, but it's more of what it stood for than anything.
More than what this beer stands for.
Yeah, with the fish fry and the muted palate. Like I didn't, because I don't infringe on can Arbona, but I was like, everything is like within 1 or 2 shades of each other. Like the Wisconsin
it really is.
food palette.
Except the red.
The Wisconsin food palette color wouldn't be very. It's not a lot of fruits, and if they are, they're red. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's brown and tan, or white. Yeah. Mashed potatoes. Even in shepherd's pie, from a British shepherd's pie, even the peas are like gross green.
Just had this argument. I don't, and you're a shepherd's pie. I bow to you when it comes to shepherd's pie.
I'm not an expert.
I don't want peas in my shepherd's pie. I don't want peas. Peas and corn are an absolute filler vegetable. I don't want them in anything.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's just how it's made.
Carrots and I know. That's my next. I haven't made it in a long time.
I like how you're opinionated, verbally or vocally, but you're accommodating.
I'll eat it.
If we were in Ireland right now, you'd be like, "This is how it was made."
Yeah, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, hold the peas."
You aren't gonna. Well, some people will. My sister would.
I'd say that on.
I don't know about the peas, but she'd be like, some she doesn't like. No. Don't put that in there.
No.
And like, hey, Chuggalo Nicole. This is how it's made. Eat it the regular way.
The way that the good people intended. Like, I just tomatoes on burgers and stuff like that. That's an easy fix, but
easy fix.
You're not offending anyone.
I don't like mushrooms on anything, but if it comes in it, I'll just pick them out.
Well, you're past my age from when I converted to mushrooms. I don't crave them, but I'll make them for others, and I'll like my steak sauce has.
Yeah,
tons of mushrooms.
Or there's one specific case I could point to where it's something I absolutely hate, which is bell peppers.
Yeah, famous.
But one of my favorite foods, probably top 5 foods, is the duck curry at Thai 9, and I don't ask for them
to
alter it because I fear that ingredient is doing something to the curry that's making it a top 5 food. So I just pick them out.
Extra spit.
I want it cooked like that. I pick out the spit and the peppers when it's on the table.
Does this look like spit to you? Yep.
It all looks like spit. It's curry.
Oh, well.
It's all spit.
Okay. My thoughts on this beer. And I kind of tip my hand a little bit. Obviously, New Glarus puts a lot of thought, a lot of... you know what you're getting. Their strawberry rhubarb beer is probably one of my favorite beers of the last 5 years. It's everything is promised, everything is delivered, and that's very similar with what New Glarus has for their palate or their offerings. Off the top rope, this is awesome. Something JT said that was like, hey, if you're gonna sit down and drink, it'd be nice to have like a keg of this and like. Have a group of guys.
This would be a good keg beer.
Yeah, good keg beer, and like your goal that night, or into the next morning, you could do keg and eggs is to float that keg. This would be a fun one to do that with. Maybe have a little bit of a palate buster in between. Maybe like a mixed drink or something like that to sweeten it up a little bit. But a fine beer.
Fine beer
across the evening. Off the top rope, I give it a 4.5.
Ooh, that's a good score. I echo a lot of the same sentiment. I guess we'll do the can art bonus segment just because
it exists.
There it is. New Glarus can. New Glarus can art. It is what it is. What? All right. It says Pilsner and it's got a barrel with a tap on it.
And that's the bottom line.
And that's it. And then it's got all the regular New Glarus can art. I echo all of the same sentiments you gave it. I think this, it's a crushable beer. It'd be great in a keg, and it does echo the Midwest Pilsners, that light beers that we're used to, the mass-produced stuff. I have no issues with this beer. It is still a Pilsner that is a light beer, and we've talked about this with Pilsners before. It's what would it take to get a 5 as a Pilsner? I mean, I just don't think it's possible. Gosh, you'd have to do something insane. A 4 or 5, I think.
But it's tough to do that. Is that it's not attainable? Like with our.
No, it's not attainable because there's nothing.
If you put banana in it or something like
5
that, a banana
is
Pilsner?
something that wows you, and making a good Pilsner, in my opinion, means you've done your job at making a beer boring, so that you drink it and it's not like when you drink some of the 5s. That's the conversation. That's the main event of the moment. Whereas a good Pilsner is defined by being like a set piece to a bigger event. I'm drinking a beer, and that's not even part of the conversation. I was thirsty and I wanted alcohol. And that's the sign of a good Pilsner. Now, if you drink a Pilsner in that situation, you're like, whoa, I really taste this beer, and it's got a distinct craft beer flavor. Well, you've just, I think...
You just made the list, bro.
You overshadowed the moment with your Pilsner beer. And this doesn't do that. This does exactly what it's supposed to. And in that regard, because it's supposed to just kind of be around while you drink it, I don't know that I could get a 4 or 5. It is well done. I mean, this is well done, but how do we separate this from the light beers of the Midwest? It's just a little bit better.
That's where I think the only way that we would be able to do it is we'd have to do a lineup. We'd have to crack 12 of them and just go 1 to 12.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a challenge.
Something we could do. I think 4.0 is a good score for this beer. Like that's like an excellent score for this beer. If a 4 or 5 is like a 5. This beer I give a 4 or 2.5 to. This beer is really good. It's got the perfect amount of flavor.
I gave it a 4.0.
Yeah, I think that the caraway is perfect in this beer. It's and it's not overdone. Totally subtle, but there.
These are both beers that would be best served not in a can, not in a bottle, big frosty mug. And I am against doing a lot of things from a separate receptacle. It comes in an amazing receptacle. That would be a big frosty mug one. Glass frosty mug. And I'm not a big frosty mug person because I know a lot of people put time, effort, and stuff into doing that. There's not times I crave that.
You ever go to that boob style place?
Boob style?
They have what is it called?
Twin Peaks?
It's not Twin Peaks. It's the other one.
Hooters?
No, other one. They have like the cold beer that's like 26 degrees or whatever.
Yeah, it's Twin Peaks.
Oh, that's Twin Peaks?
29
I
degrees
thought it was
or whatever.
A different one. What's the other one? It's called...
I went there one time. I went to Twin Peaks one time.
I don't think... Is it Twin Peaks?
It's Twin Peaks.
Now I'm like, what the
Why
heck?
did this has come up? I've seen this brewery for a reason.
Hopewell? We've done Hopewell before, I believe.
Have we?
Let's see. What is that place? I guess...
I do like cold beer gimmicks.
I don't know what it's called. It's probably Twin Peaks. It's probably Twin Peaks, but I think it's something else. Cold beer. Let's just search cold beer around here. Not cold beer and cheeseburgers, though.
Still haven't been there.
It's pretty good. Cheeseburgers are cheeseburgers. Anyway, I'll think of it.
I did have an amazing cheeseburger. They had a ghost pepper cheeseburger. All 3 guys that I went to lunch with, we all ordered the same burger. 12 burgers on the menu. We all ordered the same burger. We all got doubles except the
Which
one.
Which burger?
It's the ghost pepper cheeseburger.
Oh, okay.
And we all both got doubles, which looked like 4 patties because a single patty there is split into 2, just so they can cook them faster, quicker. Mm-hmm. And then
give them a little crispiness to them.
Yeah, not schmeared or whatever.
Not a smash burger, but yeah.
And but the other guy got double order of bacon on his, so I'm gonna count it. But
count it. Ghost pepper cheese.
Again, it's not as spicy because dairy cuts spice. Mm-hmm. So, I want more of it. Like, that's why you got to go with fresh peppers and not amalgamated.
Dude, fresh peppers are insane.
Into
I can't do
cheese.
Hot ones, they know what they're up. They know what's going on. All that shit. Anyway, you ready? 3, 2, 1. This is Hopewell. This is Italian ice. This is a citrus lager. So nothing too fancy here. Lager fruited with Meyer lemon, light, bright, and refreshingly citrusy, just like the tasty treat it's named for. I love Italian ice. Italian ice is wonderful. Now, I did discover recently, the one thing I don't like about Italian ice is when you get it and it's in those little cups and you got the wooden spoon. Like, I can't do a wooden spoon. It just gives me the shivers. I don't want a wooden spoon. Get that shit out of here. But I found recently the plastic pouches, like the icy, the whatever they're called. But they sell an Italian ice version of that. And it's awesome. It's interesting.
Meyer lemons are the Rolls Royce of lemons. Everyone knows it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the popular. It's like the Luxardo of cherries.
Oh, okay.
Well, Rainier is a better cherry, but Luxardo is the process afterwards. Rainier cherries are just nature's candy. But so Meyer lemons are great. So, and it says it right on the can. So that elicits a certain. It's not just dummy. These are going to be your much more tart lemons. The interesting thing is when you say a lemon lager at 4.2%, like I'm expecting like a summer shandy or sorry, a honey vice or something.
That's
like
what comes across the mind.
Yeah, where those beers are like a summer shandy, that doesn't have the fruit in it, but like Italian ice, that elicits. Everyone comes in there with a preconceived notion. Most people have had Italian ice.
Most people.
Or like you had a honey vice or something like that, and like it overpromises and underdelivers. This is right. I'm shocked at how much lemon is in this beer.
Yeah.
This is
same.
An incredible affirmation that people are like, you know what? We're actually going to deliver what we promise on these lower grav beers. We're actually going to put the flavor that's advertised in it. It's incredible.
Yeah. So a well-made Italian ice is going to have, or like your high-end Italian ices, I guess, or from Italy, will have chunks of fruit plus rind in it, and that's what obviously gives it its flavor. It's got to be fruit. There's got to be actual. It's not like the fake shit that you always talk about, like fake orange. I'm surprised. And then it cuts with sugar. They cut it with sugar, and then they, I don't know what the filler is. Probably just water, or maybe they make ice and then shred I don't know how they make Italian ice at that weird consistency where it's like soft, but still frozen. Because there's no cream in it. So it's like maybe they shred ice or shave ice and then refreeze it. I don't know. It's a cool process, I'm sure.
Have you ever been to Hopewell? We've never had it on the podcast. This is a new beer.
Oh, new beer? Okay. Nope.
Do you know where it is?
No.
It's right off of 90.
Chicago. Oh, okay.
In Chicago. Oh, you didn't know it was even Chicago?
No, I mean, Katie got this beer for the podcast, but I didn't even think to look.
Does Logan Square?
Was from.
You know where Logan Square is?
Yeah, I know where Logan Square is.
It's right in Logan Square.
Oh, okay. Right off the 90. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. I'm sure there's a lot going on there. Logan Square is popular.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm surprised at how this is realistic lemon. I know they say what type of lemon's in there, so it's likely they actually used real lemon. But yeah, I was expecting either to be cut with sugar, too much sugar, or something else. And no, yeah.
What do you think about the carbonation level? I'm battling with the carbonation level. I am.
Good question.
Is that to keep the lemon as vibrant as it is? Is that that's a decision? It feels like a decision.
I mean, I think that could be more champagne-y. It could be hot. It could be more carbonation. But the level it's at, it's like almost not noticeable. It's there. I think it's too little.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm Just getting something
I
else.
think it needs to be more carbonation.
More carbonation. Nitro.
More.
Nitro this lager.
No, don't nitro this lager. Oh, that might be good.
Nitro lager.
We had the nitro peach dodo, and that. I mean, I still talk about it because it's good. This could be good on nitro. Try it, Hopewell. See what happens. Try it. See what happens.
That was aggressive, but warranted.
That's a threat.
Both of these beers are light. Man, I gave that one like this. Oh, this is gonna be tough.
Kudos to you for knowing that the lemon was like the Ferrari of lemons.
Well, lemon's one of my favorite fruit. It's just a really good.
I would expect that if you asked me. I'd say it's gotta be something weird that no one else thinks is their favorite fruit.
Lemons are fought over. After when we go out to eat for like a common place, lemons are the second most fought after thing at the table between my daughters.
Wow.
Lemons
are great.
Number one is pickles.
I love them. Oh, pickles are great too. I love both those things. I think lemon flavored desserts are superior to all the other flavors. I mean, everyone knows I am weak for chocolate.
What?
But lemon, like a lemon.
295 of these episodes.
I love lemon stuff, man. Lemon desserts are the best.
Nice lemon curd. Oh,
lemon curd. Lemon anything.
We both stared off in the distance. I was just going to let it go.
We're just going to be silent.
I was going to see how long it was till you looked back.
No dead air. No, I don't like it. Because we have a balance here.
Yeah, I'll just play this as we
stare along. We got to get a longer soundbite. It's just music. Or it's just like...
Well, the intro music's 5 minutes long.
Oh, okay. We'll just play that and then just sit here and look off into the distance. Go ahead. You can go ahead with your review.
The one thing about this beer, I'll turn off the ambiance. The one thing with this beer, if I'm going to take it down a peg a little bit and come back down to the earth, because it's no two levies since we're talking Chicago.
No two levies,
which is JT's favorite Chicago beer.
Mm-hmm.
Is it's a one-trick pony, and that trick it does really well, but that's all it does. It almost like. I'd like to drink this as a slush on a hot day.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like because at 4.2%, so this is far lower alcohol.
As a slush for sure.
This would have the aptitude to freeze, or like you put it at 20 or whatever, it's going to get a little bit slushy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you attribute it to a weather, mowing the lawn or whatever like that, that would be the absolute home run for this beer because it elicits so much of that Italian ice flavor, and then you just give it the texture a little bit, and I think you're a home run while having an alcohol component to it.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with this beer. This is one where I haven't said this for like 100 episodes. You can walk around at a party and everyone would be like, "Wow, what's he drinking?" or what's she drinking, or what are they drinking? And you're like, "Yeah, I'm drinking this craft beer, but it's a 4.2%. It's very forgiving." You're not walking around with a fun story that I'm thinking about. You're not walking around with some home run heavy hitter.
Yeah.
So this last weekend, somebody came into my office and was like, "Hey, I'd like a beer, and but I don't like thin stuff. I don't like I want something that is beer." So we had a couple of quads in the fridge, quad IPAs, 12% IPA. So this guy just sits there and it comes in a pint can. Mm-hmm. Just destroys it.
Just knocks it out.
12.
Chugs it.
So then, something happened, pulled him out of the office, and 10 minutes goes by, and it's like, he's not coming back. So he opened a second can, but he only took like 3 or 4 swigs out of it. And I was like, well, I don't want that quad to go to waste. So I started drinking it. I was like, holy shit. So I'm carrying it around the squadron. Individual comes back. He goes, "Hey, do you have my beer?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Yeah. I took a couple of drinks. He just crushed right through it.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Stacey. Absolutely incredible. This is, and I was shocked knowing that. Other people are going to look, oh, okay, IPA or something like that. That's the beer style most associated with that. 7, 8, 9% or whatever. Guy's chewing through 12% like it's his job.
Hell yeah.
So, anyways, you have
his job, actually.
You have the street cred, the gravitas. This beer, man. is it hard to find? Okay, so a Pils is hard to get to a 5. A lager you can put in gimmicks, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's better than that new Glarus beer. Again, a Pils versus a lager with a gimmick. I can't not do it. Off the top rope, 475.
Ooh, we can't not do it, but he has to do it.
Well, it's better. Like, I know Pils versus lager, but this is, and there's ways we could improve it.
Yeah.
With the tools that we have, just freeze it a little bit.
Oh man, gosh, a slush beer would.
Or just like
this beer would be amazing as a slush.
The only difficult thing is getting out of the can, so you would maybe pop it out of there. But otherwise, we've all had slush beers.
Hopewell, you should consider that.
I've had some Fandangos that have partially frozen.
Yeah,
those are delightful.
When I was at the Braves game, they claimed to have had frozen beverages, and then they were all fucking broken. Hopewell, you should team with a team, probably a Chicago team, and put machines in the stadium that have the ability to freeze your beer into a slush form. It would be amazing.
You see, Branch and Bone does that now.
Do they
slush some of their beers?
That.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't see that. Branch and Bone's been weird lately. Not with the beer. Everything's fine with the business. But when I go there, I mean, we've been Branch and Bone fans since, like, if we didn't know about him on
when the
day
branch
one,
was a bud, it was bud and bone.
I mean, they planted the seed. We knew about it. We were like, hell yeah, this beer is awesome. And we're not trying to be OG, like, gatekeepers. But that's what I feel. That's who's there.
Oh, that's who's there now?
Like, you can't go there and be like, you know, I'm a casual fan. They're like, it's like going to a punk rock show where, like, this is how I feel about Rancid, actually. Rancid fans were always like this group. Let's be honest, Rancid's pop punk, and if you disagree with me, you don't know shit about music. Like, it's pop punk, but because they have mohawks and leather jackets, they thought they were badass. So there's like all these gatekeepers who are like, you're not punk.
I just
heard
this,
like Blink-182.
There are Rancid fans that wear patches. Like they
wear patches
before they were cool and after they were cool.
Oh,
and
really?
Like these, I forget what the acronym was.
Like, I get it. Okay, like, you think you're cool, you think you're bad. Like, but it's melodic, it's repetitive, it's got all of the signature musical elements of pop punk.
I do have a music-related question for you.
And just because, you know, Tim Armstrong is raspier, doesn't mean you're more punk rock than anybody else. You know, and gatekeeping punk rock music actually makes you the fucking, like, the narc loser. So keep that in mind. It's not punk rock to do that. I feel like there's a lot of that going on at Branch and Bone now.
Interesting.
There's like a inner circle, not of the brewery has nothing to do with this. There's just like there's just like this air about certain Branch and Bone.
You feel like when you walk in, like the music's
music
scratches,
like who's
this?
Whoa! I've been here since day one. What are you talking about? Just because I don't come here every weekend.
Yeah.
Got a life. Can't all just be breweries all the time.
Speaking of bands, are you following the Linkin Park?
I
Dream
followed it to the extent that you could follow it.
Yeah. So, Linkin Park came out, but anyways, they're not happy. They replaced 2 band members. They could care less about the drummer. It's just because of who replaced Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, long story short, she's a Scientologist, and she was an apologist for Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson's currently in prison. You guys could, sorry, Stacey, go on the Googles and look at that.
She had released a statement saying she apologized for it. It was like a miscommunication. She was whatever, it doesn't matter. All I know is that when I saw it, I was like, wow, she sounds just like Chester. And whether it's
I watched some of that release party for sure.
Whether it's like bigoted or whatever of me to think, my first thought was, and this happens all the time, is like, oh, this is going to be overblown by these like people who want female lead vocalists to be like propelled into like the mainstream. And it's fine because some of them are really good. Spirit Box, for example, really great. But like they oversell it to themselves, I guess, or Reddit or whatever. It's usually the Reddit crowd. And so like my first thought was like, wow, she sounds great. This is going to be like on my timeline on Twitter, because Twitter's my social media of choice, for like days. And then I didn't know that it was all going to blow up in her face. But I guess she apologized and stuff.
Yeah.
But actually, we didn't wind up really having that whole thing where people are like, it's a female, everyone needs to love.
No, it wasn't the female stuff.
Yeah, no, I saw a little bit where people were like, the haters. And I'm like, I don't actually think there are haters. Yeah. I think there's people who want there to be haters, and so they go on Twitter and are like, people hate that it's a woman. But no one really does.
Stoking the fires.
Yeah, there's not even a fire.
Or fanning the flames, sorry.
So anyway, yeah, I was following that. That's fine. I don't know. Whatever she said about supporting Danny Masterson seemed fine.
Yeah.
Like she did it before
that was
she knew or whatever.
That was one of the offsets. The big one for everyone, like everyone fanning themselves in church is the whole Scientology. Just because the belief of not psychology and psychiatric care is not a reputable science, where it might have helped Chester out, the dark place that he was or whatever. So
yeah, it's not a real science.
Kind of projecting, yeah. So in the Church of Scientology, they
believe that.
Yeah, it's not psychology and psychiatric care is.
This goes
kabuki.
It's interesting that you brought this up because this does actually tie back to the punk rock thing. The Church of I Don't Believe in God.
Yep.
Is in and of itself this like insane religion. Not for everybody. There's people who I've met who don't have like a religious faith, who are totally normal, grounded people and are fine. But there's a group of people who are like just militantly anti-religion, and that's their religion. Like, wake up, people.
Yeah.
Like this is the same thing with, punk rock gatekeepers are the epitome, the antithesis of themselves. Same thing with these like, anti-religious people. You're basically in a religion. So I hate to inform you.
They're anti-disestablishmentarianisms.
Yeah, exactly. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So anyway, you gave this beer a what?
A 4.75. I'm almost done with it.
You bring up you've made the point that's mandatory on this podcast. If you're going to get a 5, it has to mean that this beer can't get any better. And like you said, you've named at least one, freezing it. I think you need to amp something up. That's the second one. I don't care what it is. I do care what it is. Amp the lemon up. Keep everything else the same. Because if you amp up the sugar, you're going to fuck this beer up. Amp the lemon up just slightly, a little bit more, and then freeze it, and you have a 5. I'm at a 4 or 5 on this beer. Excellent beer, and I'm really the most impressive part of this beer is how realistic, like how like a real lemon this tastes. And I think it's because they use real lemon. But I just feel like when I saw the beer, I was like, this is gonna be like a sugar candy fake bullshit thing.
I'm trying to boggle my mind where Hopewell. I've heard nothing about Hopewell.
Yeah, we've done Hopewell stuff.
We have
not on the podcast, but I'm sure I've seen this group before. Maybe I've just seen them in the stores and not bought them. It's possible. A lot of Benny's trips.
The big thing, we got more legs is, again, the deadline. I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning, especially after last week's train wreck. The deadline to order a 2024 Advent calendar, BCP Advent calendar, is the 25th of October. Let either one of us know.
Yeah.
We're building them on the 8th of November, Friday, the 8th of November. I've got a lot of RSVPs already for that. Other people are coming, some just to hang out or whatever, but there will be a deadline, again, October 25th, and then we're building them on November 8th, and then to be distributed immediately after. And then we're ordering food. We're going to be ordering food this year. So if you're like, sorry, Stacy, The Barrel House doesn't.
Like Star Station.
Yeah, the Barrel House doesn't offer food or whatever. We're gonna have food there. We're gonna try to lengthen. We're gonna try to give this event some legs.
Yeah, I'd like to put some legs on this event.
So that way, food, drinks. We'll stay there a little bit longer. We'll have a good old time. It's gonna be great. So we're trying to correct the missteps of previous iterations.
There's never been a misstep. Lessons learned, maybe.
I would just like to not go from 0 to hero so quick, but that's just part of the excitement.
I love it.
That's some of the excitement.
I'll say this: you should show up fashionably late. It might kill you, but because you're there first, you're already ahead of everyone else.
I have to be there
because you indulge immediately.
I have to. Yes.
So getting there early.
That's my signature.
Getting there early, fine. Indulging immediately, fine. Doing both those things simultaneously puts you ahead of the game.
I should do it like how I do.
It's not 0 to hero. You're just a hero before everyone else shows up.
Yeah. Well, typically, we'll have to see. Typically, I've already started that day too.
Oh, okay.
So I already come there.
Maybe I'll take the whole day off this year. I think the previous years I always
with a little bit of experience. Oh yeah, no, it's a holiday.
It needs to be a holiday.
I set the calendars.
Oh, did I take off last year? I can't remember.
Yeah, you took off early. You didn't have any of that.
I didn't think it was early.
You didn't have any
until I found out it was.
Any of that Anchorage beer.
Yeah, I know.
I've said that I'm probably going to do 2 Anchorage beers this year. We'll see. I've told other people.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good old time. We're still debating on where we're going to get food from. Sarah said that she will get me a comprehensive list. So working, I have 95% confidence it's going to be Maya, Sarah, and Matt, which I'm stupid excited for all 3. Because the good relationships and the good bridges that they build with everyone that's comes in and out of that shop, greeted with a smile, and they're open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Quick suggestions too. It's not one of these. Oh,
I know.
I don't know.
We should get El Peeb Bay or a Peeb. It's a food truck.
Yeah.
But it's a permanent food truck location. Amazing Mexican food. Probably the best in Dayton. No, not probably. It is the best Mexican food in Dayton. Period. And I don't know how far from Barrel House it is, but I mean, I live near Barrel House, and I can't think of a better restaurant near there.
Yeah, there's going to be fine opportunities again, because otherwise we're limited to like pretzels and
stuff. The
prices
went up recently,
like we've had. But again, I'll post it again. Sarah, Matt, the whole team, Gus, they like the post, they comment on it because now I tagged them on. I'm going to tag them on every one of these.
It's going to be huge.
From these, it's going to be planned this year. It's going to be executed well. Whether it's huge. If we're talking numbers, 250, 300 calendars, what matters at that point? Could you imagine?
Imagine that. I mean, you have to shut down the whole street.
Sarah, you're gonna have to shut down. But I wanted to roll that out again.
You want to roll that out?
I'm gonna roll it out every time up until the 25th.
I need to roll it out at work. Or I mean, you have a better relationship, I think, with your coworkers. I don't know if I just shouted.
I think it's only one coworker.
Advent calendars.
It's only one.
Middle of the
floor. Only one coworker.
Would people respond? Probably not. People look at me weird at work. I don't like it. They're mostly old engineers.
That's just how you know they're paying attention.
That's true.
You command attention if you get any sort of looks in the line of work that we do.
Well, in the building you're in, yeah, most people just stare at the corner of the floor.
It's not as bad as other places, but yeah, that joke is made.
Where I work, those people have a little bit more people skills. They're mostly mechanical engineers, not electrical. Electrical engineers, I think, are the weird ones. The mechanical engineers are the ones who have they're social. They like football.
My squadron has, as far as executing electrical engineering, my squadron has just under 50% of the executable electrical engineering. Not just generic engineering, but electrical executing an electrical engineering job.
I don't know, but I don't know anything about the execution of that. I know that I put the electrical engineer as basically adjacent to or as a subset of physicists. They're all weird scientists. Whereas the mechanical engineers are more they're smart, well, they're not all smart, but they are smart. They're like well-educated mechanics. They're just like salt of the earth, cool people who have social skills. Although I've met some physicists that have social skills. Very few, but...
I got a situation for you.
Let's talk about it.
Beer related.
All right.
Because now I'm energized. Coming into this, Chuggalos, I was limping. And JT goes, do you need a minute? And I go, He broed up, and I was like, no, I'm going to power through.
I'll bro up.
And this is one of those ones where
I won't glow up.
I wish we didn't. I wish we didn't have real lives, because we could sit here and talk and have just go grab.
We could actually. I think we should do that. We should have like a 3 or 4 hour, just like Joe Rogan experience episode someday.
Even if people don't, because people click through Joe Rogan or whatever.
Oh yeah, I don't.
We should just do a. We should just do a Kill Tony version, and just have people come up, or we could just do a minute
show that. I want to talk about with you, but I don't know. Today's not the right day.
So the last couple of Fridays, even before my flight, I've gone to King's Table. One, to see Tam Tots, great greasy spoon lunch. Mm-hmm. The amount of people, JT, you're putting together a party.
I am. Typically.
Let's say you have 30 people and you're going out to a restaurant. Do you call and tell them ahead?
30 people is like so many people.
On this last Friday at King's Table, and they staff for parties. Like they're always accommodating and everything like that. 2 separate 30-person parties unannounced showed up.
Damn.
Tam Tots, the manager and the owner. By the way, we had some great interactions.
Did you jump behind the bar and help out?
I would offer,
unlicensed. You'd be arrested. They'd probably lose their liquor license.
So I was talking because I always sit at the bar when I go there, and it's just going to be me and one other person. Yeah. It's just better. You're going to get better service. I'm there to talk to the bartender. Yeah. Incredible. And they're not staffed, so they are slammed, and people are getting annoyed. And you can't be. The Tam Tots can never say, well, you call ahead type thing, because these people, aren't going to do it again, or they're going to be a part of something, or a lot of followers, not a lot of leaders. So. One, have you ever been in a situation where you haven't? I'm very reservation centric, and it's tough for me to, see the forest through the trees in that one, because I know there are policies and whatnot.
But I feel partially responsible for this mishap, because I don't know who was there. Yeah, I don't know these parties, but I have. I
know the 2 groups. The one
you do.
Yeah. I know of the 2.
Are any of them from? Any logistics centers?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
So have I been? Okay, I'll answer your question first.
You've never been the bus driver in one of those situations, have you?
I'm trying to think. It's not to that level. That's pretty extreme. 30 people and 2 groups of 30 people. That's very extreme. I would say that after 8, maybe you could stretch that to 10. You're approaching like mandatory reservation territory. And I've probably been in groups that have been larger than 10 that were spontaneous. I don't know off the top of my mind when that was.
Both were going away parties too, so let me set the table a little bit more. Both were going away.
I can't say that I've been in that situation. I would feel bad. And I always try to play like the mediator, where like if I notice that I'm in a situation like that, where I'll tell people like, hey, come on, let's give these guys a break. We sprung this on them. Just try to remind people that we did something fucked up. But
I got another fun situation for you.
Situation.
No, not in that, because it's just I'm too weird just in life about things. Another gal people watching at King's Table for lunch is great. Guy comes in, orders a Bud Light. The girl he's with orders a Coors Light. Hands Tam Tots a card, and he's kind of still standing there. She hands the drinks, and he goes, "Yeah, can I close that out?" Okay, understood. And then they just have those 2 drinks, and then they just leave.
Okay.
It was just crazy. I guess I've never. They sit down, 4.5 Mississippi, and gone.
They drink their beers, though.
I think. I mean, they left them at the table.
Okay. That's fine. They were likely checking it out.
So another one of my favorite gimmicks was the owner was there. Previous story, I start putting up a fake fight. Not a fake fight, but I'm like, stirring the pot a little bit. And I go, hey, Tam Tots, this guy is trying to take your employee of the month. I need to talk to a manager. I go, sir, can I talk to the manager? I know he's the owner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I need to talk. I go, Karen. What's the male equivalent of a Karen? Chad. I'm chatting up. I go, sir, I need to talk to the owner. There's some egregious. Oh yeah. He just laughing. And
that's funny.
Like I know he's a Detroit fan too, and this was before NFL kickoff, so we were talking. I was like, man, those Detroit fans, what a bunch of pompous jerks. They had one good year. And Barry Sanders, and they think they're...
You get one guy named after a robot, and you think you're the best.
Just laughing. But so anyways, that's some of the fun I have with that spot.
I wonder if I have if there's a financial impact that I've made to King's Table. Everywhere I've worked, and I've worked in a lot of different offices, I've always brought groups there who then eventually made King's Table a part of their group, outings. Particularly at LCMC, which I don't know if I should have said, but it's fine. I don't think anyone cares. The group I worked for, I was like, oh, we should do this, going away party or whatever at King's Table. And then I've found that they have now done every single group outing, whether it's a going away party or a celebration or like a holiday thing at King's Table. I wonder how many, I'm not like, oh, I'm significant because you probably have drawn more business to that place than anybody ever. But just like how many thousands of dollars do you think that I've helped funnel into that place? I don't know.
2.2.
2.2 thousand. That's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a lot of beers, and I'm really proud of that because that place is amazing. Now the people who drink the standard Pilsners,
just one each and left.
I think that's fine.
It's just...
I don't think that's weird. I think they were checking it out.
Pete and I thought we giggled.
Checking out a bar is something people do when you're, trying to find a place that you are comfortable with frequenting.
Yeah.
And they probably realize, this is a craft beer place. It's not really for us.
My signature, when I always go there, is I always have Tam Tots pick my first beer.
Yeah, that's a really good.
She always has me. I always try to guess.
I like the younger lady. She might be our age.
She works a little bit later in the day because Tam Tots works till 4.
I feel like she reads. Tam Tots is great. I feel like the younger lady reads my situation and everyone's, not just me, better. Not than Tam Tots, but just she reads it right. Like there are times where I'm there with somebody who I just want to have a conversation with, and there are times when I want to talk to.
I drank a beer.
About beer.
I drank another beer.
Yeah.
3 beers.
So
4 beers.
She's good at just like, hey, here's a beer, and then comes back when she sees the glass is empty. She's good at sticking around to offer advice.
When you're sitting at the bar.
Yeah. I've brought
because you got to order at the bar. There.
I've been there several times, sat at the bar with another person, and there's times where like when I went there with ShamWow when he was in his worst, state. I think she broke the ice well. I think something about just being a bartender. She knew, hey,
it's a profession.
Something's going on there.
It's not a job. It's a profession.
Yeah, it's a profession for sure. So anyway, King's Table is amazing.
We definitely broke the ice with these beers because I came in not wanting to drink, and now I can't wait for my next one.
We broke the slice.
Broke the Italian ice.
God, there's so many more conversations we could have. Do you find that as your kids get older, there are things that the people who are their parents are into that you wish you'd have been into more because it's a relatable thing? For example.
Yeah, I need an example. This is
this is a hard question. As my kids have gotten older, and I've become closer with their friends' parents, I've found a lot of them use golf as a weekend escape. And while I golf, I'm not a frequent golfer, and I'm bad at it, and I use it as a way to get out and hang out with people. Like, it's not something I do because I want to get better at golf. It's not something I do because I enjoy golf. It's just, this is a cool social thing for me.
It's your jumping off the bridge.
Yeah. But there are so many people into golf. Oh my God, I can't believe how many fucking people play golf. It's like crazy how many people play golf. And now I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done this sooner, earlier in my life, gotten better at it, and it would have been a more relatable attribute. Do you find similar things with your kids?
Golf related.
Not golf, anything.
No, I've got other golf stories because Stacy took lessons, and
I took lessons as well.
There's a big family cup that's fought over for between two different states.
There's always something. You guys, I could probably name any topic, and there's like in Matt's universe, there's like
her parents. It's saw
championship.
It's an amazing
Or
trophy.
there's like a
it's
list.
got beer cans.
Or there's
It's Michigan,
globally known
It's Michigan versus Wisconsin.
thing.
And I went and played one year, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
golf is
fun,
one
man.
of those things I gear up for.
Long game versus short game. Fuck the short game.
I
that shit
have
out.
golf costumes because I like to dress up.
Oh,
And
golf costume.
that's where the LaRue pants, they started for golf tournament. Like I would
didn't know
do
that.
golf paint. Yeah, that was my golf wear, and I got a flop cap and a couple of vests and stuff. Stacy's a far better golfer than I am. Her dad listens, so that's important for me to say.
Her dad listens.
Yeah. He's a far better golfer than I am too.
Is
That's
that
important
a skill
because he
of
will
golf
kill
you need
me.
to listen?
What's that?
Is that like a Pocahontas thing? You need to listen to the wind. Her
What-
dad
what-
listens to her
Whatever I do,
or
yeah.
to golf.
He's so intimidating both. Whatever, it just affects my golf game. But are there other
Chuggalo
things
Todd.
that
Well, are you listening?
oh yeah, no. Believe me, when I talked about sexual relations with his daughter, I got a lot of text messages.
I
about
don't
that.
remember you talking about that. Let's talk about it again.
Yeah, that was that came up. That was good times. So, are there other things that right now?
Here's the secret. Anybody who's a grandpa, your daughter's never had sex.
That's the episode title. Here's a secret.
Here's the secret.
For all the grandpas. Your daughter. Okay. No. Because a lot of the things that we do are still kids at that age.
Like, I feel like you dabble a lot, whereas like I focus on things. Do the parents of kids these days? Not to sound like
These
an old
days.
fucking
Oh yeah.
person,
You
like,
sound.
I have teenagers, so I'm like an old man now.
Yeah.
But like,
Do the
all the dads play golf, and then now they're taking their kids to play golf.
JT, do the gray pubes outnumber the colored ones?
Tell me.
Yeah.
Count them
No
all up.
pubes.
I know this
Okay.
is. You have to start in the beard and then work your way down.
Yeah, that would take. I've seen your chest. That would take far
Oh,
too
my
long.
chest only
That
has,
would be a 3-hour long
My chest,
conversation.
you could actually. My chest, I only have like 4 gray hairs. Most of them are all still brown.
Stacy was cutting my hair last weekend, and she goes, "It's starting." I'm like, son of a bitch. But I go,
It's starting.
I'm
Oh
in my-
man,
yeah,
I'm
it's-
like,
it's I'm.
if
I have loose ones.
I don't know if you guys are like haircut
about
snobs.
my haircut weirdos.
I don't know if you're haircut snobs, but like I go to Sports Clips because I just think Sports Clips is the best.
They fucked me over last time I went there.
Oh, I love them.
I was talking about baseball.
Can I offer Sports Clips? If you're listening from the Sports Clips corporate entity, please switch to gray or white aprons. The black apron, I've literally watched as my gray hair. I'm not like self-conscious about it. I'm growing my beard back out, so it's like I'm fine with it. Obviously,
Yeah.
not gonna just amend this shit. But I've over the past
Your beard is weird.
over the past like 4 to 5 years, I've watched as the gray hairs that fall onto the apron have just gotten like more plentiful, and I'm like, holy shit, maybe distract me with like a gray apron so I don't see it as easily.
Yeah.
You know? And stop talking to me. That like I go to Sports Clips because the TV's on and I can watch football and baseball.
No, I distracted.
No offense to the ladies who cut my hair.
The week before we left for Disney, I went and got a haircut, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just go there, and I won't bother." It was getting long on top, and he goes, and he's like, "I am so sorry." I was like, "It'll grow back." The manager was standing right behind that fucker, and they charged me for a full haircut, and it was right before Memorial Day weekend, and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to ruin his weekend," so I still tipped him $10. And I was like, and he totally jacked it up.
Because you, like me, are a reasonable person who can think beyond the service you were given.
2 minutes before he's done, he goes, I just want to thank you for not hollering at me. I go, yeah. And he goes, I have anxiety issues.
Yeah, don't cut hair.
Maybe, yeah, don't cut hair. And that's what I tell that people to everyone. Maybe don't cut fucking hair.
Yeah, don't cut hair. I wish I could have given you the perfect people that cut hair. I have all their names.
Nope.
It's a time thing for me. Sports clips for like 10 years.
I used to go there exclusively, and then during COVID,
it's not even about the haircut. Clippers. It's about the MVP.
I don't want to be touched like that.
I didn't either.
Nope.
I didn't either.
Nope.
I don't want you touching my head. And then I had the free MVP one day. They're just like, it's free for this month.
Nope.
And I said, all right, let's try it. You know, sometimes you got to go out of your comfort zone. Honestly,
nope.
Just anyone who's not Matt, the MVP at Sports Clips is worth it. It's worth it.
No,
it's worth it.
I don't want to be touched that way.
I don't either, but I'll allow it for MVP. Are you afraid you're gonna get a boner?
No, because in Turkey, because the dude was cutting my hair. No,
I
want to get in and.
Do you get?
I'm annoyed as fuck when I have to wait more than 10 minutes.
Do you get like the ASMR feeling from people touching your head?
So I know what ASMR is.
Yeah.
Because I watch Twitch.
So you don't get it. You don't know. You don't have never.
No, like
it? No. If you'd know if you got you just be like, yeah, I experienced it. It's a different feeling. It's like weird. Like that happens when I get my head massaged. It's weird, and I know what you're talking about.
Do you have the wire cage?
I have a wire cage, and it fucks me up. But I've been to the Middle East and gotten haircuts where they're like, and they put the menthol in there. Yeah.
No, rubbing alcohol in Turkey. I know how to say no rubbing alcohol in Turkish is the first fucking thing I learned.
I got my haircut in Kuwait, got my haircut in Afghanistan, and then they'll just they'll just fuck you up, dude. But it's different. It's different at sports. They don't do that.
Haircut on 4 different continents and then fucking weirdos every time.
Yeah, always weirdos. What are they doing? Trying to punch the shit out of your head.
Yeah.
They're just like boom, boom, boom.
It's fucking ridiculous.
No, Sports Clips is cool. We're not sponsored by them anyway.
No, absolutely not. Worst.
If we were though, we would
jacked up my fucking hair.
Matt would sell out.
Multiple times I've been there. No, so Stacy does a great job. And then haircut place. So I'm growing it out on top, and then my favorite barber in the world, Jessie J. She's going to cut my hair. I'm gonna go get 60 egg rolls. It's 20 feet. I've taken a tape measure out. The barber shop is connected to the bar. The bar is 300 square feet. I wear the waiting room place all the time. I can walk through the saloon doors, just right into from the bar chair to and she uses the straight razor. That's awesome. I trust her. I was like, she's the one that, I was like, you can do whatever you want. And she completely changed my style, and it was fantastic. Bro, I couldn't tip her enough. Just amazing.
Couldn't tip her enough?
But I tipped a guy that...
You could tip her.
I tipped a guy that fucked up my hair $10 because I didn't want to ruin his day. So I'm going to double her tip this year.
Yeah.
For sure. And then I'm going to go sit in her bar because then she comes and pours
beers. Those types of experiences is what ruined tipping, I think. Is that... Because I'm the same way. It's like... You just provided a service for me that's going to last a long time, and I'm going to return. Like, when you go to a restaurant, other than maybe Tam Tots, you're not going to return because the service was a certain way, I don't think. You're just there. And everyone can't get the same... You're not getting the same experience as, the great barber or hair cutter. I don't know what the female version of that is.
Tam Tots might be at the calendar build, by the way.
Oh, no shit.
It's a Friday, but
tipping like that is
talked to her boss.
Insane.
Yeah.
But I like to tip for a great haircut because that matters to me. It matters deeply to me.
Tip for exceptional
service. That you cut my hair well. Exceptional service, but there's scales. Exceptional service at a restaurant's fine, but your job is to serve food and be forgotten, basically. Whereas the hair cutter is the opposite. It's to do a great job and be remembered, so I can continue to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I have the wrong thought, but I'm always a good tipper. I feel bad not tipping well, but when you think about does this person deserve 20% versus this person versus I don't know.
I have no problem delineating that. If I'm picking up the food, you get 0%.
Yeah.
Again, the restaurant, the meal that we had in Disney, that I tipped that guy $100. Like, again, just he went above and beyond. His suggestions were on point. Everything was a fucking home run, and that's not. We weren't. It was just amazing.
Do you ever check the suggestions on the menu to see what their prices are? Not because you're curious how much you're going to pay, but a smart waiter, when you say what's the recommendation, would tell you the most expensive or the more.
Oh yeah. No, this
items.
wasn't even the case. No,
that.
we started even with the apps.
Disney's making their money. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, this was one of the side restaurant, like not like hired guns. STK. It's a small. There's 4 or 5 locations.
I don't know what it is. Disney's Disney. I don't know what it means. I'll never go back. Well, I'll probably go back because I'll have grandchildren someday.
Yep.
So I guess we'll go back.
But your sons will still be virgins.
Exactly.
On that note,
this was episode 295.
I thought that was going to be like a nice
Yeah, cliff
dive.
Cliff jumper. If you are a grandpa, your daughter's never had sex.
Way to revisit that one.
And that's it.
Usually he clicks off by that point.
Yeah, he clicks off before we get to the end. When does Chuggalo Todd stop listening?
Typically with 45 seconds left, but no, this completely
within
ruined.
the last 45 seconds of every time, start talking shit.
No. He will listen. Chuggalo Dave.
I'd never talk
but he's
shit.
not a
I don't have anything to talk shit about.
His daughters consider him a grandpa because they both have dogs, and his one daughter
I love
really
dogs.
likes her dog. Really, really likes her dog.
See, that's where again something that we don't align on. I have an absolute adoration for my dogs. They're amazing, and I didn't think I should do that. Probably shouldn't have done that. I told myself I wouldn't do it.
You just said that's where we're.
Dexter was amazing. You talk about your dog in the worst ways.
We're having hot dogs for dinner.
Anyway, I have no reason to talk shit about Chuggalo Todd. He's been nothing but great to me.
Way to bring
And
it back.
I had to make sure I said it so he doesn't tell you. He's gonna pass you a message to give to me, which is gonna be like one of those old mafia messages. It's like, tell JT that he's gonna swim with the fishes or some weird Italian shit.
No, you're a fib.
Not that he's Italian.
You're a fib to him.
But
he did build the
that's
cooler.
messed up, man.
He built the cooler.
I'm a
He
fib.
wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't care.
Only people who should only consider Illinois residents or previous Illinois residents to be fibs only are people who've not lived life. And Chuggalo Todd's lived life.
That seems like I can't.
You
wait.
have to differentiate a traditional fib from a person that you actually
I can't wait
have
till
opinions about.
We make a joke and I'd be like, you know what? We can't refer to him as fibs because you've lived your life.
Because you've lived life. Because after a certain point, you should form real opinions, like a real thinking human being, and not all people from this. It's a fucking state. We're all Americans. Hell yeah, America.
We don't consider people from Springfield or
Springfield, Illinois,
like Salukis. We don't consider them
Peoria?
fibs.
They're
Chuck
not Berry,
fibs.
Chuck Berry, or
the fibs.
who is from? Richard Pryor's from Peoria.
He is, along with Rodney Dangerfield.
No, it's
Sam Kinison.
Yeah, we hear that on Kill Tony a lot. That's it. That's episode 295. Great episode.
JT, how heavy is a polar bear?
Heavy.
Enough to break the Italian ice. Bye.